Okay, guys, this is going to be part 33 of A Dog's Purpose. I can't believe it's gotten to this point, and I'm still reading this goddamn book. I'm actually getting kind of sick of this book. Baffled, I watched it go. What sort of game was this? Hastily, I followed, easily tracking the dust as it drifted through the air. I knew from my many years of flying that I was quickly losing the scent. Victor must be driving very fast. I gamely picked up this pace, no more following the dust cloud by, but focusing instead on the signature smells from the back of his car, where I just spent so much time. I was able to track him when he turned into a paved road. But when another turn took me to highway, the cars flashed past at amazing speed. I knew I lost him. So many cars were whizzing by, each one was most similar to, though not exactly, Victor's car. Picking up the one scent on which I was doing fine was impossible. The highway was intimidating. I turned from it and headed back the direction I come. With nothing else to do, I backtracked along the same scent trail, now faint in the late afternoon breezes. When I came to the dirt road, though, I passed it and kept heading aimlessly up the pavement. I remember when I used the trick my very first mother had taught me and escaped from the kennel when I was a puppy. The second time, how it seemed like such an adventure to run in the open, free and full of life. The man found me and named me Fella, and then Mom came and took me to Ethan. This was nothing like that. I didn't feel free. I didn't feel full of life. I felt guilty and sad. I had no purpose, no direction. I would not be able to make my way home from here. It was like when Colonel turned away from me the day Derek took me to live with Wendy. Though no feelings came from Colonel, it was nothing, nonetheless goodbye. Victor had just done the same thing, except he had handed me to nobody. The dust and the heat made me pant, my thirst itching at my mouth. When I picked up the faint scent of water, it was the most natural thing in the world to turn in that direction, leaving the road and walking through the high grasses that tossed themselves back and forth in the breeze. The smell of the water grew stronger, more translating, drawing me through a stand of trees and down a steep bank to a river. I waded into my chest, biting the water, lapping it up. It felt glorious. With my urgent thirst no longer my only concern, I allowed myself to open my sense to my surroundings. The river filled my nose with a wonderful damp smell, and along with the gurgle of the waters, I could hear very faintly a duck squatting over some immigrant outrage. I paddled along the bank, my feet sinking into the soft soil. And then it came to me with such a jolt. I lifted my head in surprise, my eyes wide open. I knew where I was. 28. A long time ago, I had stood on the banks of this very river, perhaps on this very spot, when Ethan and I had gone for a long walk after Flair, the dumb horse, abandoned us. The scent was unmistakable. Doing fine, all those years had taught me how to separate outdoors, categorize, and store them in memory, so that now I could instantly remember this place. It helped me that it was summer, the same time of year, and that I was young and my nose so sharp. I couldn't possibly fathom how Victor might have known this place, or what it meant that he had released me so that I would find the place. I had no sense as to what he wanted me to do. Lacking any better idea, I turned downstream and started trotting, retracing the very same spot Ethan had taken foots those many years ago. By the end of the day, I was hungrier than I could remember ever being, so hungry my stomach cramped. Wistfully, I thought of the old woman's place, had poking through the fence and dropping little pieces of meat for me to snatch out of midair. The memory made me drool. The riverbank was choking with vegetation and made me and made for slow going, and seeing that the hungrier I became, the less certain I was of my course of action. Was this really what I should do, follow the stream? Why? I was the dog who had learned to live among and serve humans as my whole sole purpose in life. But now cut off from them, I was adrift. I had no purpose, no destiny, no hope. Everyone spotted me slinking down the shores at that moment, might mistake me for my timid future first mother. That's how far back Victor's abandonment had thrown me. A giant tree had snapped during the winter, and fallen by the winter, water formed a natural hollow on the bank, and as the sun faded from the sky, I climbed into the dark place, sore and exhausted and completely puzzled by the cages of my life. My hunger woke me up the next day, but lifting my nose into the air brought me nothing but the smells of the river and the surrounding forest. I followed the flow of water downstream. Downstream because I had nothing better to do, but I was moving more slowly than the day before, howling with the empty ache in my belly. I thought of the dead fish that sometimes washed up at the pond. Why had I merely rolled in them? Why hadn't I eaten them when I had the chance? A dead fish now would be heavenly, but the river yelled nothing edible. So miserable was I that when the rough bank gave way to a footpath riddled with the scent of humans, I hardly noticed I enabled logical, I don't know how to pronounce that freaking word. I'm sorry. Along, only halting when the path rose steeply and joined a road. The road led a bridge over the river. I raised my head, the fog lifting my mind. Sniffing exactly, I realized I had been here before. Ethan had been picked up by a policeman on this very spot and taken for a car ride back to the farm. My many years had obviously passed. Some small trees I recognized marking at one end of the bridge had grown to the tower giant, so I marked them again, and the rotting planks on the bridge had been replaced. But otherwise the smells were exactly the same as I remembered. At autumnal lullaby, as I stood on the bridge, it honked at me, and I flipped back from it. After a minute, though, I hesitantly followed it, abandoning the river for the road ahead. I had no idea where to go now, but something told me that if I went in this direction, I would eventually arrive in town. For there was a town, there were people, and where there were people, there was food. When the road joined another, the same inner sense told me to turn right, and I didn't so, though I shrank guiltily away when I sensed a car coming, sliding the high grasses. I felt like a bad dog, and my hunger only enforced this belief. I passed many houses, most of them set far back from the road, and often dogs would bark at me, upset by my trespassing. Around nightfall, I was slicking past the place where the dog smelled this when the side door opened. A man stepped out. "Dinner, Leo? Want dinner?" he asked, his voice carrying the deliberate excitement people use when they want to make sure a dog knows something good is happening. A nail bowl was dropped with a loud clang on the top of the step of a short set of stairs. The word "dinner" arrested me in my tracks. I stood riveted as a squat dog with enormous jaws and the thick body eased down the steps and did his business a few feet in the yard. That way, he moved suggestive. He was an old dog, and he didn't smell me. He went back and nosed around his bowl a little, then reached up and scratched the door. After a minute, it opened back up. "Are you sure, Leo? Are you sure you can't eat anything?" the man asked. There was a sadness in his voice that reminded me of a way Al cried in the yard that last night I spent with him and Maya. "Okay then, come on in, Leo." The dog groaned, but couldn't seem to pull his back legs up the last step, so with tender gentleness the man bent and picked the dog up, carrying him inside. I felt myself powerless, drawn to the man, and was stuck with the sudden thought that this could be a home for me. The man loved his dog, Leo, and he would love me. He could feed me, and when I was old and weak, he would carry me back inside his home. Even if I didn't do fine or score any work at all, if all I did was devote myself to the man in the house, I would have a place to live. This crazy, purposeless life I had led as bear would be over. I approached the house and did the sensible thing. I ate Leo's dinner. After the weeks of tastelessness, gritty dog food at Leah's and Victor's home, the succulent metal meat in Leo's bowl was the best thing I ever tasted. When it was gone, I lifted the metal and the clang of the bowl against the side of the house. I lowered the dog inside, who woofed worryingly, and I heard him approach the side of the door, wheezing a low growl, mounting in the volume as Leo became more sure I was there. It didn't sound as if Leo would be very receptive to the idea of me living in his house. I bolted up off the steps so that by the time the light flicked on, to illuminate the yard, I was already back in the trees. The message in Leo's holster growl was clear. I would have to find my own home, and that was okay. With my hunger sated, my longing to live here had gone away. I slept in some tall grass tire, but much more content, my stomach full. I was hungry again by the time I found town, but I knew it was the right place. The approach fooled me. I passed so many houses, those streets bustled with cars and children, where my memory told me there should have been only fields. But then I came upon the place where Grandpa used to sit with his friends and spit vile juices out of his mouth, and it smelled the same, though there were sheets of old wood over the windows, and the building next to it was gone, replaced by a raw, muddy hole. At the bottom of the hole was a machine that mushed great piles of dirt in the front of it as it moved. Humans can do that, take down old buildings and put up new ones, the way Grandpa built a new barn. They alter their environment to suit themselves, and all dogs can do is accompany them, and if they're lucky, go for car rides. The volume of the noise and all the new smells told me that humans had been very busy changing their town. Several people stared at me as I trotted down the street, and each time I felt like a bad dog. I had no real purpose. Now that I was here, a bag of trash had fallen out of a big milk bin, and it was with a huge sense of guilt that I tore the bag open and pulled out a piece of meat covered in sticky sweet sauce of some kind. Rather than eat the meal right there, I ran behind the metal bin, hiding from people just as my first mother had taught me. My wandering eventually brought me to the big dog park. I sat at the edge under some trees and watched inversely as people threw soaring discs for their dogs to catch in the air. I felt naked without a collar and realized I should hang back, but the way the dogs were wrestling in the middle of the big yard drew me like a magnet, and before I could stop myself, I was out there with them rolling, running, and forgetting myself in the sheer joy of being a dog at play. Some dogs didn't come out to wrestle. They stayed with their people or sniffed along the perimeter of the park, pretending that they didn't care how much fun we were having. Some dogs were drawn to tossing balls or flying discs, and all of them eventually were called away by their people and given car rides. All except me, but none of the people seemed to notice or care that I didn't have anyone there with me. Toward the end of the day, a woman brought a big female yellow dog to the park and let her off the leash. By this time, I was exhausted from all the play and was just living in the yard, panting, watching two other dogs wrestle. The yellow dog sadly joined them, interrupting the play for sniffing and tail wagging. I lurched to my feet and went to this new arrival and was shocked by what I smelled along with her fur. It was Hannah, the girl. The yellow dog grew impatient with my feverish examination of her sent him spun away, eager to play, but I ignored her investing bow. I exactly dashed across the bar to the dog's owner.